Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will be doing acrylic on all toes. First thing first, I'm gonna tell you guys the products that I'm using. I am using Prettiest Pink from Valentino. My brush is from McCart and it's a size 12, and then my monomer is from Young Nails. And y'all know I like to add a few drops of acetone into my monomer just so my acrylic is not so runny. Okay, you guys, so I'm super excited because this is the first set I did after I did my nail class. And if you have not watched that vlog, go back and watch it, please, because I had so much stuff that I did and so much stuff that I learned. So I really wanted you guys to see my first business trip. So please, I'm gonna have the link down below so y'all can watch that. Okay, so back to the nails. I did this set, and after I did this set, I'm like, okay, I can really see the difference of what I was doing before. Like, even when I'm picking up the acrylic, I'm picking up less acrylic. My beads are not super big. I'm barely having to foul. Like, everything was perfect. Like, when I tell you, I learned so much from being in that class, and it was well needed. So the problem that I was really having, because I know a lot of you guys probably was like, why did I even have to go take a class, or why did I want to even take a class? One, I felt like I needed it because I wanted my nails to look a certain way. And sometimes watching a video or watching people do it, it's not helping you get to where you want to be. And because I know what I wanted, I had to go and look for it. I had to find one of the good toe techs because this is how I want my nails to look. And then also polygel. I didn't know how to do polygel, so I learned polygel as well. As far as the polygel, you guys, I will have to get a client that is willing for me to practice, which I know I have a couple of clients that I already told that I was going to offer, you know, polygel on them as a model. So I will be having videos on me doing polygel coming soon as well. But yeah, so I had to invest in myself. And did I see a difference? I do. I see a difference in my toenails, and that's how I know I went to a very good teacher, because not a lot of nail tech will actually show you how to do everything step by step. Some of them gatekeep, and you paying $1,000, $600 for a class, and they gatekeeping the whole time. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't experience situations like that with other nail techs, but we're gonna talk about that in a whole nother time. I am proud of myself. The way these toes came out, I was like, okay, girl. So what I learned, let's talk about that. You do not need to pick up a whole bunch of acrylic just to do the toenails. You're not doing the apex. You don't need big bulky nails. And to make it look natural, you have to start off with picking up your beads small. It's not a rush. Like, it's not a rush at all when you're doing acrylic toes. And then I always say this, even before I took the class, if you don't know what you're doing, practice on yourself before you practice on other people. Like, I knew what I was doing, but it didn't look the way I wanted it to look, which was more on the natural side. I wanted my toenails to look natural and not so bulky, which I learned how to do that by not picking up so much acrylic, and then also making sure that when I am picking up my acrylic is not so runny, which I already know how to control that, which was I added a few drops of acetone in my monomer, like I always tell y'all. So another thing where I was messing up at, I'm gonna tell you everything where I was messing up at. Where I was messing up at was with my big toe. With my big toe, I would pick up a big old bead to fill the whole nail, when it should never be like that. I should just pick up, well, the right way. And what I learned was place the big bead. Pick up one bead instead of one whole big bead. Pick up two beads. So one bead, that first bead down, flatten it down first. So you see how I keep patting it down? It's because I want it to be flat. If I didn't do that, then that second bead that I placed will make my entire nail look humpy. So that's one of the things that I learned, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I was telling my teacher, Ramish, I was like, girl, now I see what you're talking about. It makes sense. Like, I know toes, but what she was doing made it look so much easier, and it helped me build a nail. Even when you're doing like toe reconstruction, or you know, people that doesn't have like a lot of like a long toenail, they have very, very short, it's easier for you to do it into 2 steps than 1. So I calmed down. We're picking up the big old beads, and I just picked up a smaller bead, and if I did need to go in with another bead, that would be fine as well. I didn't have to pick it all up at once. Picking it all up at once and making one whole 1 bead method for the big toe will make your toe so thick. And if you guys been watching me, for the girls that have been watching me for a long time, y'all know I be having to drill that big toe down because I done picked up so much of acrylic. So now I know I don't need to pick up all that acrylic. If I need to add a little bit more acrylic, I will. But in the very first beginning, I'm not going to be picking up a big old bead. So I'm happy with that. That's one thing I learned. And then another thing I learned, when you're drilling, which I didn't drill in this video. I didn't show you guys how I'm drilling. But when I drill, I learned how to, like, you see how thin that toenail look? Oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. But anyway, I learned that I needed to make sure I go underneath the toenail at a certain angle. So you want to kind of like angle it. And when I do a video of me showing how I drill, I will show you guys exactly what I mean. But you want to drill the nail at an angle so that way you make it look flatter from your client view and your view as well. So I'm doing the French. With my French, I see a difference in my French as well. All my French looked even. I was like, okay, that's the goal, to make sure your French look even and it looks perfect. So what I did was, you guys gonna see me draw the line first on the very tip of the nail, and then I go on the corners, and then I do like the shape of the French. So that's what kind of helped me as well. I'll do more detail of how I do my new French, the now time. But you see what I'm talking about? I drew the line, a very thin line, because you don't want it to be so super bulky. And then I go in on the sides, right there. And then I go on the other side, just a little small line. And then I even it out, make sure it's very even. And then I will do the same thing to the next ones. So that's what made my toenail look very even, my French, when it came out to the nails. It can be very hard when you're doing acrylic and then your client, some of their toenails are longer than the other, so it can be hard to make the perfect French. But when I learned it to do it this way, I was like, makes sense. And then I like a thin French. You know, some clients like a thicker French, but I love me a nice clean thin French. You know, a thicker French every once in a while, it's not bad. It all depends on the client. But I did the same thing for the big toe, and I noticed that helped me as well. It helped me draw the French perfect, and I loved it. I really am a strong believer in, if you need to invest in your business, invest in yourself to be the best of you, you got to do that. Forget what everybody else has to say. Do whatever you have to do to make the best version of yourself, especially as a nail tech, as a toe tech, whatever you want to do. Even if you want to just do it on yourself, practice on yourself. Make sure you're the best. This is how they came out. Y'all see how perfect that French looks? I was eating them girls up. I love them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye, y'all.